Hi guys, this is this week's Frugal News. So I created this news segment as a way of sharing some of the news that's really important to me. Often when I'm reading the news, I'm reading about Washington and politics, and I always think, how does this help me? How does this apply to my daily life? And I hadn't been able to find quite the news that I wanted to read. So I decided to start searching for the news that I really wanted that was going to impact my life. This is this week's Frugal News, and this week I found some articles about the economy and also some ways to save money. First up is some bad news, of course. The big news was technology companies are doing some layoffs. And if you don't work for a tech company, this may not be huge news to you, but it is a really good indicator. Massive layoffs, always have to do with recession fears and rising interest rates. The first layoffs was about Twitter, which I just thought maybe it's the new CEO, but as more layoffs came from Meta and Amazon, this is definitely a trend. So it's something to be really cautious about how much food is going to cost and how your other costs may rise. So that was a little disheartening news. The big companies are always a really good indicator how our economy is going and what might result from the economy and how our prices might be on the rise. So just something that to be aware of. And this article is from the International Rescue Committee. And what it says is that inflation in the United States has hovered about 8 or 9% in the last few months. Something to be wary of. But also, I think it's important that we remember how lucky we are to live in the United States. Other countries are seeing, a 50% rise in household items. Maybe we don't think about the Middle East all that much. But, when we're focused on the price of gas and the rising costs of other foods, I think it's important to realize how lucky we really are. And sometimes it's nice just to take a step back and realize, we live in an amazing country where we don't have to suffer so much. Our costs are not going to rise as steeply as other countries. This statistic really just blew me away. The price of rice in Somalia rose from 75 cents to $2. And the price of 3 liters of oil went from $4.50 to $9.50. That is really amazing. My thought is, when I'm buying groceries, I can always rely on simple things like rice and oil and beans to cut a lot of the costs. But I can't imagine living in a country where even the price of such basic things are rising so much. So this article was really just a step back for me, and feeling grateful that we have what we have in the United States. And I'm a member of a few Facebook groups, and one of the biggest questions is always, is a Costco membership really worth it? And I love this article that says you really can get around that membership cost through Instacart. And I think that's a really great idea. If you only occasionally need something in bulk, I think Instacart is a really great way to get around that. But do keep in mind that Instacart does charge a delivery fee, and all orders must be $10 or more, and delivers under $35 are charged more. So definitely something to keep in mind if you just need an occasional purchase. But, definitely do your homework. The $60 fee for Costco might be worth it if your family uses a lot of bulk items. But for the occasional purchase, I think it can save you some money. And if you've been with this channel for a while, I love the thrift stores. I think they are just fun to go in and look around, and I usually find something that is a really good deal. And these are some things that you should always buy at thrift stores. Jeans. When I'm shopping for jeans, thrift stores are a really, really easy way to get a pair of jeans that are in good shape. Of course, you want to take a really, really good look at the wear. Definitely investigate the fabric and make sure there's no wear. But jeans are really sturdy, and I think you can find a really good deal at some thrift stores. And tools are a really good way to save money as well. Basic things like hammers and screwdrivers. They have a little bit of wear, but still lots of use left in them. And totes and trays and baskets. I recently purchased a trash can for like $1. People buy the fancy trash cans like at Target or other stores, and then they find their way to the thrift shops, and they're a lot better quality than, say, a dollar store. So it's a really good way to pick up some useful items at a discount. And we're approaching on the holiday season, and I imagine if you walk into a department store, you're just filled with lights and lots of shiny decorations. But don't forget about thrift stores. A lot of people, I think they go overboard with their holiday decorations, and every once in a while they'll do a purge and get rid of stuff that they're not really needing because they just have too much. So you can find some really, really neat holiday decorations. And arts and crafts supplies. Probably not something you often think about with the thrift stores. What I usually find is a lot of fabric. I'd love to sew. I won't find, yards and yards of fabric to make a dress, but you might find a yard or maybe two at the thrift store for maybe $1, super cheap, for smaller projects. And I've even found some brand new art canvases there. So definitely give the thrift stores a look if you're into arts and crafts and sewing. And I think most people know that dishware is always found in thrift stores. What you may not know is every once in a while you might find a complete set of dishware. So, if you're moving out of your parents' house for the first time, or you have a young person who's moving out on their own for the first time, you might be able to find a really inexpensive complete set of dishes for them. And perfume is also on the list here. I have never been a really big perfume person, and I've never actually ran across it in any of the thrift stores locally, but definitely give it a look if you are big into perfume. It says here that department stores will donate some perfume testers, so smaller quantities of perfume. So definitely keep that on your radar. And one-of-a-kind items, I would say definitely. I love just to browse in thrift stores, and I'm always amazed at the unique items. You might find some handmade items, um, some items that you usually don't see in stores, because the stores circulate their items just so quickly. It's easy just to miss something really unique. So you'll definitely run across these possibly weird and wonderful items at the thrift stores. And books. I definitely love the book collections at the thrift stores. I particularly love the cookbooks. The cookbook sections are always filled with like local church cookbooks. I love that so much because you have the town that they come from. You have the name of the people who have submitted it. I love I love the church cookbooks in the thrift stores that I find. I think that's a really unique thing that they have. And you'll also find popular books that maybe were popular a couple of years ago. Maybe you completely missed it and thought, oh, I really meant to read that. So you can find some really good book deals. And their pro tip is to visit the thrift shops near college towns, just because there were so many books that the college students have to read. So definitely think about where your thrifting is located, and if books are what you're most interested in, definitely look near your college towns. And old vases and jars. Vases brand new can be really expensive. If you've ever purchased, flowers in a vase from a flower shop, they're really spendy. But you can find vases for, a couple of dollars, and some really unique ones. So definitely keep that in mind as you're doing some decorating for home. Cloth napkins. You'll definitely find lots of cloth napkins in different styles. So definitely take a look at those if you're trying to decrease your disposable napkin costs. Definitely give the thrift stores a look, and I think you'll find some really unique ones. And the last one is office supplies. I often forget how good thrift stores are at having a supply of office supplies, stationery and even greeting cards, pens. Sometimes I find a package of pens that have never been used. So definitely give them a look if you're in the market for some office supplies. So that is this week's Frugal News. I would love it if you guys would give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you're feeling generous, put a coin in the tip jar by clicking the thanks button. And I want to thank everybody for watching, and I hope you have a great week.